Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my episode 5 review of The Mandalorian. Couple of things before I start. First of all, mate texted me earlier. He said, Monday, 23rd of December, let's go watch the new Star Wars film. And I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I was like, I know we need to catch up because I haven't caught up with this guy for ages. And I was like, dude, we need to catch up. Let's meet up next week. Let's do something. But I have got no interest in this new episode 9 at all. I said the only reason I'll go and see it is if it's an absolute, cluster that I can laugh at and give a bit of, whatever. But okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, episode 5. I would have to say that this is, so far, my least favourite of the 5. And I'll explain why. I think it's a solid episode. It's a solid, fine episode. But the first 4 episodes of this season have started to carve out the Mandalorian's own path. It hasn't had to particularly rely on anything else but the characters. So yeah, we've seen a few stormtroopers working for some people. Fine, fair enough. But other than that, it's taken us to other planets. We've had little insulated stories, and we've got this relationship building between the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. And that's been the focal point of the show so far. Episode 5 felt disconnected from that to me. It felt like it was going, hey, do you remember seeing this in Star Wars? Do you remember Tatooine? Do you remember Mos Eisley? Look, he's landed in the same place as the Millennium Falcon. Look, he's going to the same cantina as Obi-Wan and Luke. Look, the guy sat in the same chair that Han's. It was just like a nostalgia trip. And it didn't work for me because I think that the Mandalorian show so far has been very strong and not needed any of this. It's not needed the crutch of the old Star Wars to rely on. I think Pedro Pascal's body language in itself has been phenomenal. The little budding relationship between him and Baby Yoda is just beautiful to see. And the destinations that he's going to, Carl Weathers as one of the, as the person who distributes the bounties for the guild. I think they in itself, we had Gina Carano last week, who's going to be making a return in, I think, at least 2 more episodes this season. Legit kick-ass. I thought these things in themselves were carving out a great pathway, and it didn't need this. It didn't need this. So it kind of took me out of the immersion which I felt for the first 4 episodes. It took me out because it felt too much of a joyride. A Tatooine joyride. But I do have a theory about the end, which I'll go into when we get there. So let's get into the episode itself. So we start off with a space fight. Pew, pew, pew. Between the Mandalorian and one of the bounty hunters who's got a fob and tracked him down. He's got, very kind of World War... I know Star Wars is meant to be World War II in space and all that. But, he's kind of got the Spitfire / Vulcan sort of look, the shark look on the front of his mask. Very Wild War II-ish. And he seems to be all over the Mandalorian ship and seems to be toying with it, to be perfectly honest with you. And it doesn't really feel like a fair fight. So it does feel a little bit weird when the Mandalorian outwits them and ends up destroying their ship. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. All right, that's okay. I thought the ship was going to get crippled and then had to limp and the other... or something, but there you go. Then we get... Tatooine. We get to Tatooine. So the planet they were on previously was not Tatooine. It was another planet. They mentioned the name. I forget the name. I think it begins with G, maybe. So they go to Tatooine, and yes, they go straight to Mos Eisley. A place of scum and villainy. They land in, obviously, one of the exact-looking places that the Falcon was in. And then we get these little droids. I think these droids appeared in the prequels. I could be wrong. But they sort of ring a bell from the prequels. And then they get this lady who comes out, and the Mandalorian's very specific. He doesn't want any of the droids to go near his ship. He doesn't have enough money for all the repairs, so he's like, I'll go out and get work. And she's like, whatever. And then, of course, Baby Yoda, who was stowed away, is just like, I'm Baby Yoda with Force powers, bitch. Christian channel. And he comes out, and he's just adorable, and you just want to hug him, and you never want to let him go, and you want to feed him, and you want to give him snuggles and kisses, and wrap him up warm, and watch him sleep, and... You get the message. I tell you what, I've never had a paternal bone in my body. I haven't. I've never wanted children. It's not been something I've been particularly interested in. And then Baby Yoda comes along, and it's triggering every paternal instinct in my body. I feel like meeting a woman and just saying, can we please make Baby Yodas together? It's not a good look. When it wasn't, at least when I was in the police station. So look... So cute. So cute. Maybe it's because Belle, my cat, has been really standoffish recently. I don't know. So the Mandalorian goes looking for work so he can raise some more money so he can pay for all the repairs. Goes into the cantina in Mos Eisley, and then we meet this chappie here who sat, I think, in the same place that Han was sat where he was dealing with Greedo in A New Hope. And he's like, hey, Mandalorian, I've got a bounty. Would you like to come on it? It's just like, who is it? And he says, it's this assassin. Who's actually, what's she called? Ming-Na Wen? From Matilda May. Is it Matilda May? From Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous. She is 56 years old. 56. She looks like a 35-year-old. At worst. At best, early 30s. She looks incredible. And Ming-Na Wen is absolute kick-ass anyway. So it was good. It was good to see that she was going to be in the show. And the Mandalorian's just like, good luck with that, mate. You know, she's a trained assassin. You're a punk. She's going to eat you for breakfast. See you later. And he's like, not if you help me. If you help me, I'll give you all of the money. I just need the kill. Because if I get the kill, if I get the capture, whatever, then I will be allowed into the guild. So the Mandalorian's like, well, if I get all the money, okie chokie. And so they have a little bit of back and forth. There's Ming-Na Wen. And they have a little bit of back and forth. And they obviously don't trust each other. The Mandalorian's like, give him this information. He won't give it to him. It's like, give me the fob. He destroys the fob. It's all in here. So they obviously have a mutual distrust. But this guy comes across as certainly ambitious, but a definite rookie. Which is interesting for later on in the show. So they do their gubbins, and he says, right, I'm going to go away for a bit. I got a job. And she's like, good. And look after the baby Yoda for me. So she's looking after the baby Yoda. This guy gets a couple of speeders, very basic speeders. I like it. I like the sort of basic broken down technologies that they put in front of them, put in front of you. And then whoosh, off they go into the desert. Yes, the guy does clock the baby Yoda, but doesn't think anything of it because he doesn't realise the Mandalorian is under threat and all that kind of stoof. So they negotiate a pathway through the territory with some sand people. Wasn't that very PC? Some sand persons who literally appear out of nowhere. It was quite funny, actually. I giggled. There you go. It just literally appeared out of nowhere. I was like, whoa. And I think this is green screen. I really do think this is green screen stuff, and it's so well done. It really is so well done. Anywho. So they negotiate pathway through by giving the Sand People his binos, binoculars. And then they see a trap, what they think is a trap, and approach it as a trap. And it's this creature here, and the rider's still attached. And they don't know if that is the assassin, or they don't know if it's somebody else. So the Mandalorian asks him to cover me. And he goes down, and they realise that it's another bounty hunter. Another bounty hunter that's looking for the assassin that they are. And then it is a trap because she's got the place scouted and she starts sniping away at them. And because of his armor, his beautiful, beautiful armor, he gets away. So he's like, right, if we go out there during the daytime, we are fodder. So we're going to wait till nighttime and I'm going to rest. So he just goes and gets some kip. The guy keeps a lookout. The Mandalorian's sleeping away. This guy's pretending that he could take the Mandalorian. He's kind of drawing his gun out and doing all this. Like, and then the Mandalorian's just like, you finished? And he's like, yeah. So there's a good, there's a decent bit of humour. It's a good bit of humour in it. Not obnoxious humour. It's little bits of subtle humour. So he says, right, this is the plan. I've got these, like, bright light explosions, right? So we go on the speeders and we head directly for her position. We then fire one of these off when we get in her range. It will blind her through the scope. And then once a certain period of time's run out, you do yours. And then it will do it again. And then rinse and repeat. Then I'll do mine. And then we'll be able to get to the ridge and she won't be able to snipe us. Set up. Because this show has always set up for later payoff. It's a good show. It's a show that's been thought about by the writers. So off they go, and then she clocks them immediately. She gets them in her sights, and then boom! They start to fire off their things. Bang! There's an explosion of light, which in the darkness gets straight down the scope, blinds her. But the Mandalorian gets hit and knocked off, but he manages to get through. He could have taken her out, but he doesn't. And then that gives her the opportunity to start fighting him. So they have a bit of hand-to-hand, but the Mandalorian, he's fine. His armor's protecting him. And he's just like, wait! Hey! Cut it out. So she's like, all right then. 56 years old. Are you kidding me? Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Oh, just gorgeous. Anywho, let's move on. So, Mando's just like, my speeder's been destroyed, so we can't take the speeders back. So I'm going to walk back. Then I'm going to get something to carry her. And then I'll come back, and then we'll go hand her in. So he's like, okay. So Mando starts heading back to town. Now, Ming Na Wen decides to use her powers of seduction, not in that way, to get through to the guy. And he's just like, you know that the Mandalorian is wanted. He's wanted for that child. He's kidnapped a child that was a bounty, and the whole guild's after him. If you were to hand in the Mandalorian, you would just immediately get into the guild. No questions asked at all. That's the ultimate prize that they want. Never mind me. That's the ultimate prize. So she's like, you team up with me. We'll take him out. You get into the guild. I get free. So he seems that everything's going according to plan. And then he goes up to her and then boosh. He shoots her point blank. Now that he's got the information that he needs. So we suddenly see this really ruthless side in him. We knew that he was ambitious. We knew that he probably wasn't trustworthy. That's fair enough. These are bounty hunters at the end of the day, so fair enough. But this ruthlessness, you could argue, but maybe he couldn't take the chance. He takes her out the cuffs. She attacks him. They fight. She could win. He could win. Who knows? So you could have that argument. But to me, it was more of a, I got what I wanted. I got all the information off you that I needed. I don't need you anymore. I think I'm capable enough of taking out the Mandalorian. And so he shoots her point blank. Now I'm thinking she's not dead. I'm thinking she's not dead. There's gonna be something that happens now. So the Mandalorian returns on one of those. You saw some stormtroopers on one of these on the George Lucas, I don't know what version of A New Hope, where he just decided to put loads of creatures in for no reason. And he looks at the body and it's unmoved. She actually genuinely looks dead, because I doubt she would have just stayed like that, particularly after the guy had sped away in his speeder. She would have got up and, tried to escape or whatnot. So he's just like, okay. So he goes back to the hangar, and the guy's there, of course. And he's got the Baby Yoda and the woman who was looking after the Baby Yoda. And he's just like, I'll do the Baby Yoda. I'll do it. So he's just like, okay. So I'll drop my gun. So he drops his gun. Payoff time. But this is the object which fires the blinding, the flares into the sky that explode and do the blinding light. So he's like, I'm going to cuff you. Put your hands behind your head. So he puts his hand behind his head, but he's got this thing in his hand. So he tells the woman, because he takes the Baby Yoda in his hand, the naughty guy, tells the woman to go and cuff the Mandalorian. So she goes around, she realizes what he's got in his hand, and she's like, oh, you cheeky what's it. So the Mandalorian fires off the flare, and it blinds the guy. And all the Mandalorian does, and this is what I really liked. This is what I really did like, actually. Is instead of like a big firefight ensuing, he blinds him, and the Mandalorian literally just picks up his weapon and moves a few paces to his left. That's all he does. Doesn't like charge anywhere or doesn't end up in a big ridiculous fight. Just goes to the side of the guy. So by the time the guy sort of regains his vision, turns, Mandalorian's there. One shot, it's over. One shot, it's over. I like that. And then he says, look, is this enough money? Baby Yoda's fine. Baby Yoda's fine. Is this enough money? And he gives all the money for the bounty. And she's just like, yeah, that'll cover it all. So all this kind of thing in the hangar was a little bit goofy, but fair enough. And then we have the ending. And this is I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't know if this is the, honest to God, hand on heart, do not know if this is the internet theory. I haven't looked anywhere. This is just one thing that I thought. Because this is set after Return of the Jedi, but not before Episode 7. We go back to Ming Na Wen, who's still dead. She hasn't done a I am Jesus Christ. Come respawned after 72 hours. And you see somebody approaching the body. So you see this person who's approached. I could be completely wrong here and everyone could laugh at me. This looks like another Mandalorian. Cloak, leg armor. And you could think, well, maybe it's one of the guild. Maybe there's a traitor in the guild. Maybe there is. I'm thinking, what if this is Boba Fett? What if this is Boba Fett? Sure, the last time we saw Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi, he fell into the Sarlacc pit. But what if Boba Fett escapes the Sarlacc pit? This is all new stuff. What if Boba Fett escaped the Sarlacc pit and started to return back to his bounty hunting ways? And now one of the bounty hunters who's going to be on the trail of the Mandalorian is Boba Fett. It's just a wild thing. It's just a wild thing, which I thought it's probably nothing of the sort whatsoever. But that's what I kind of went with. So all in all, like I said, it was a solid episode. I didn't understand why it relied so much on the nod, nod, wink, wink, It didn't need to, but it was still a solid episode. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. Solid. It's not a bad episode by any stretch of the imagination. It's still good fun. But it was just there. You know, there were a few, like I said, the things I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I didn't think it needed to rely on. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.